Hello, welcome back to my channel. So I've just done a quick video of some of the gear that I used on my recent West Highland Way. So if you want to check that video out of the walk that I've just done, maybe you're going to be doing it soon or you're planning to do it, you might want to check that video out. So I'll put a card up to the video here somewhere, but just really wanted to do a sort of unloading video of my unloading video kit review video of the kit that I took on the West Highland Way. So so this is all the stuff that I mostly took, including all the camping gear, clothing, my cook system, sleeping bag, and it might help you in terms of you're looking to buy some new kit or planning your kit for the West Highland Way. I think in total with water, tent and all the kit, it probably weighed in, I think it weighed in about 13 kilograms, which is I guess about average possibly, which, you know, is I felt really comfortable in my Osprey XS 48. Despite that weight, I didn't really feel like there's really much on my back. So so I hope this video is gonna help you. So I'm just gonna go dive into some of the gear that I used, and we're gonna have a look at that. And if you've got any questions about this walk or anything about the kit that I used, and then just, you know, drop a comment below, and hope you enjoy. Alright, so going to take a look at the pack that I took on the West Highland Way. So this is a pack that I've had since about summer 2019, I think, when I actually took it on my original first West Highland Way. So it's the Osprey XS 48. So this is a really popular bag by Osprey. A lot of people use it. I think watched someone's YouTube video who used the Osprey XS 48, and then I found other people use it for their long distance or backpacking trips. So ones where you're going to be carrying camping kit. So the advantages of this one are that it's lightweight, first of all, so that can be a disadvantage. 48 litre, so you've got just a little bit of space to play with, really. It's not like a 65 litre pack, but the advantages of it are it's lightweight. So Osprey, a very good brand of backpack. It's premium, so I think I paid about 150 quid for this bag. But the first things to point out are the back system. Really comfortable. It's got this air vent system, so air will flow through your back, so you're not perspiring on your back and it's not uncomfortable, which is you know, quite common to see with some very sort of budget backpacks. So so this is the one I've used the last couple of years. I'll be using it again, obviously, but the advantage is that you can make it even lighter. If you just sort of have a look, you can actually detach this off and take the top of it off and just leave that, and then you've obviously got, you know, you've got all this to play with. So you open it up, yeah, you've got a nice lot of room in there. You've got a sleeve on the back, you've got a nice sort of stretchy pocket on the top here. So I actually left, look, there's a little twig here from Loch Lomond. Well, somewhere on the West Highland Way probably, but the stretchy pocket's good because you can put your so I put my tent footprint in there. But I suppose you could just, if your tent gets wet, you can leave put your outer, the wet outer in the pocket there, and you can separate the inner and outer so they don't get, so the inner doesn't get wet, basically. But really good backpack, 48 litre. Option to leave the brain, as it's called, at home, so you can make it even lighter. But it's the back system which is the winner, because it's just really comfortable. Really comfortable. You've also got options to attach your poles to the side, and these stretchy pockets on the side are really good, so you can be walking along and you can get access to your water bottles by pulling them out from these little stretchers. So a really good backpack to use. Highly recommend it. Osprey XS 48. So you might have seen in my video, on the front I've got a little pocket, which is like a little bag. It's this chest pod made by OMM. So with this little bag, you can just sort of hook it onto the straps, which you might have seen in my videos. You've obviously seen it probably quite a few times because it's always attached to my straps on the front. And you can just hook the bottoms around the chest strap of the bag on the bottom. Really good for storing anything really. It's a nice deep pocket. You can put maps in there. I would put my, obviously I've got my GoPro stuff in there, and painkillers, rehydration tablet made by NUM. These are supposed to be really, really good ones, so highly recommend them. But yeah, so you put anything you want in there, so it's a really nice sort of accessible pocket. There's a disadvantage with the XS48, it doesn't have, on the model that I've got, the previous model had sort of little pockets on the chest, on the waist belt, and it doesn't have it on that one. So so I got something like this, but because I make videos and stuff, I got this purposely pretty much for carrying camera batteries, cameras, GoPro, sometimes put my drone in there. Didn't bring the drone on this West Highland Way. So it can get quite full with all that stuff, but if you're just going to use it for maps and snacks and all that sort of thing, it's a great little addition. It's not waterproof, so it's not waterproof at all, but it's got a breathable lining on the back. So that's the OM chest pod. So moving on to the tent that I've recently got. It's the MSR Access 1. This is a 4-season tent. Because I do a lot of sort of wild camping on, you know, on sort of high altitude summits and things, you might want to check out my last one that I did on Panora Wen in Snowdonia about 3 weeks ago. You know, I'd only ever do a summit camp at that sort of altitude. That was about 3,209 feet if the weather's perfect. Always check mountain forecast. Never go up there and obviously, you know, really bad weather or anything like that. Just want to sort of stress that point. You know, I am a beginner to all this, but I'll only ever, you know, go out on these altitudes if it's if obviously the weather's really good and stuff. So, but this is the tent I've recently got. It's about 400 quid, so it's not cheap. So it's not sort of for someone that's brand new to kind of wild camping. But I wanted to upgrade my tent from my nature hike tents because the zips were snagging. Didn't really trust them in sort of really strong winds, though I know that they are good in sort of strong winds. But I wanted to go for the MSR. It's in orange as well, so it looks good in photos. But that's the tent that I used on the West Highland Way. So I used it at Solocki Bay campsite, and I also used it at a sort of wild camp spot near the Bridge of Orkney. So I didn't really get too much bad weather on this West Highland Way. So, but it's pretty light. I think it's about so 1.37 kilograms. It says there. So that's quite a lightweight tent. So if you've seen in my video the West Highland Way, you see that I just strap it onto the bottom of the Osprey XS48. That's another great thing about it. I just sort of tie it onto the bottom. You can just tighten the straps, so you can take your tent. You don't have to put your tent in the bag, so you've got more space in the bag. And then in the morning, the tent was wet, so I would keep the outer in the orange pack outside on the bottom of my XS48, and then I would put the inner of the tent in a dry bag inside my rucksack. So I make sure to keep the two separate. But then I was fortunate enough that I had B&Bs and stuff. I was able to dry my tent out inside the room, turn the radiator on high, and then that would be ready to use for the next night. So fantastic tent. MSR do some cheaper tents as well. I think the Hubba NXR, is it, something like that? That's quite a popular one as well. So they're really good tents to take on, you know, long distance backpacking trips, because they're fairly lightweight as well. But you know, again, I recommend the nature hike tents that you might have seen in some of my other videos. They're a budget Chinese brand, but they're fantastic for if you're brand new to backpacking, looking to do your first West Highland Way trip. This summer especially, you know, we can really start looking at using sort of budget tents in the summer when the weather's better, because remember, it's the wind. The wind is the killer. So that's the thing that can you know, cause you trouble. So that's where you really need, if you're going to be doing, you know, something quite serious like the West Highland Way in strong, you know, if it's windy and you want something decent that's going to withstand those punishing winds. So but obviously I do a lot of wild camping as well, so I really wanted to get the MSR. So that's the tent I used. In the bag, so just before I upgraded, got some new dry bags. So what you always need to do on a long distance backpacking trip here in the UK, you know, there's a 90%, 95% chance it's going to rain, okay? Our weather changes every single day, every hour, especially in the mountains. So you need to make sure your sleeping bag is in a dry bag. All right, so the advantages with a dry bag are that obviously it's going to keep your sleeping bag nice and your clothes and whatever you want nice and dry. Talk about sleeping bag in a minute, what I use. But what you can actually do is you can compress the sleeping bag, you can compress the dry bag down, so we can stuff it all in there, and then we can, can't do a great demonstration of this, but you can basically compress all the air out of it. Then what you can do is you can mould it into the shape of the bag at the bottom, at the base of the bag, and then you can, it would just go in the bottom of my XS48, so it's not really taking up much space. What I'd actually also do is I put my night clothes in the bottom of the sleeping bag, so that would free up more space in the bag, because all my night clothes are in the sleeping bag. That would be my merino wool socks, my merino wool top, my down sort of pants, and sort of thermal sort of pants as well, that sort of thing. So but yeah, always put your sleeping bag in a dry bag. So the sleeping bag that I use, I'm not going to get it out. I've done videos on my Outkit Pipe Dream 400, which is the sleeping bag that I use. So it's about a -5 rating. I've had it since November 2019, so it's now April 2022. So I've had it a fair while, and it's done really good. It's pretty lightweight. As I say, I've done a video on this bag, so you can check that out. But it's warmth to weight ratio is excellent. It's sort of down, so it's you don't want to get down wet. That's why you always want to put it in a dry bag. But it's very warm, lightweight to carry. Outkit do some fantastic kit. So they don't just do sleeping bags, they do everything really. I've got the Outkit brew kit, which is the cook system, which I didn't take on this long distance backpacking trip because I wanted to, you know, save weight and make things a bit lighter. So I just took basically a kettle, and I'll show you that in a minute, a little pocket stove thing, a canister. So that's the sleeping bag. Just obviously show you, this is my sleeping pad, obviously. So this is the X-Bed Sinmat 7. So it's a 4-season sleeping pad. Again, I've done videos on, not specifically on this, it's probably the first time you've seen it on my channel, and on this walk. I used it also on my solo camp up Penarrow Wen. But it's a 4-season sleeping pad. So I've done a sort of a basic sort of video on the sleeping bag that I had before this, which was the Trackology UL80, which is it's got an R value of only about 1. So this one's an R value of about 4. What does that mean? So in basic terms, if you want to do any sort of wild camping in the winter where the ground's freezing cold, you need a 4-season pad like this. So early April in Scotland, the ground's still cold. So this has sort of got down properties in it. I'm not going to go into too much technical information. I'll do a separate video on this, but you won't feel the cold from the ground basically. So a lot of people will use a foil mat, foil sort of mat, and then I mean you could put maybe a 3-season pad above that, or I think a lot of people have said they put the foil mat over the top of the 3-season pad to act as a barrier between the cold and the cold going into you feeling the cold basically. But I never felt the cold on this. I think it was only about 70-80 quid or so. So that's actually quite good for a price for a 4-season pad. A lot of people use the Thermarest Neo Air X Firm and the Neo Air X Lite. Thermarest are extremely premium, like X-Bed. They're a little bit more. It might be a little bit lighter, I think, the Thermarest range, but X-Bed, Thermarest, if you're looking to get a 4-season pad, you need to look at those 2 brands. I've had a really nice sleep on, well, I've slept, I don't sleep, I mean, who sleeps well in tents on camping trips, but yeah, it was pretty comfortable really, this pad. It's fairly lightweight. I wouldn't take the bag, so what I do is I just fold it up, then I just fold it in half like that. I do a little bit better job than that, but then it just slot it into my bag. I don't want to faff around with the little sacks that they come in, so that's what I do. So that is the X-Bed Sinmat 7. Really good pad. But going into the summer, you know, you can just, I mean, why not just get a cheap summer pad, especially if you're doing it in August. Right, so just taking a look at my little cook system here. So I've got the Out Kit Brew Kit all in one sort of system, which is excellent value for money. It's about 45 pounds, I believe. So that's basically that's an all-in-one system where you just attach a canister on the bottom, and it's got all protection from the wind. You just put your water in, and it gets to the boil in about 1 minute and 20 seconds, something like that. But it's quite bulky for a long distance trip like the West Highland Way. So you put that in your rucksack, then it's taking up a lot of space. So I needed to minimise weight really and space. So I decided to do something a little bit different for this trip. So what I did was I just took this little burner basically. It's just a cheap thing off Amazon. So I coupled that with just a little jet oil canister thing. Yeah, and then I got this little kettle, which is fantastic. It's made by Sea to Summit. It's collapsible, so basically pull it up like that, and it's brilliant. You know, it's you just put your water in there. You know, burner goes on top of that, and then you've got a little basic lightweight system for boiling your water, and it collapses as well. So once I finish with it, it's like a little, you know, it just slots nicely in the bag, doesn't take up any space, it's really lightweight. That's made by Sea to Summit. Wasn't cheap, it's about 35 pounds, but I'll definitely be using that on some sort of wild camping trips and stuff, because I am sort of learning to, you know, minimise weight, minimise space and things in the bag, and just keep the weight down really. Yeah, that's a really good system. So just a quick look at some of my kit that keeps me warm at night. So again, this is really, if you're watching this and you're doing this in the summer, you don't really need these at all. But these are great for camping in the winter if it's a little bit cold at night. So I've got these little nature hike down pants and little, I think they're kind of called booties. Booty call, sorry. So yeah, so these are fantastic. They got down in them, but they're like little slipper things, and you put them on your feet, obviously, and they'll keep your feet nice and warm in the tent. Couple them with some merino wool socks, you're not going to get cold feet. They're brilliant. And then I've got these nature hike down pants, which are also really good. So I wore those at night as well in the sleeping bag. If you got a freeze-season sleeping bag and you wear these at night with some merino wool leggings and tops and a down jacket and stuff, you've taken it up to a 4-season bag. So, you know, that's all you really need, in my opinion. So a really good bit of kit. Nature Hike makes some great stuff. The tents are fantastic. It's all sort of a budget price, so they're definitely coming to look at if you're brand new to backpacking trips. Quick look at some of the clothing that I have been wearing, that I wore on the West Highland Way. This is brand new. This is made by Rab. It's a microlight alpine down jacket. So I've had a trespass one, but wanted to upgrade to something premium. I'm really impressed with Rab. I've got the coat that I was wearing during the days, waterproof jacket made by Rab, the Downpour Plus one. I think that's a really good jacket. It's basically, I'll show you it in a minute, but it's got sort of these zips, pit zips under your armpit, so you can just get venting in there and stuff. It's fantastic. But this is a really good down. This is premium. This is about 150 quid. Made by Rab. It's, you know, it's down. I'll do some point do a separate video on that, but It's just going to keep you warm. Yeah, so I've got that. Didn't use them, but these are the Berghaus Downpour Clouds trousers. If I said that right, I don't know. A lot of people watching this have probably got these. I didn't wear them, they've not been worn yet, but these are my first sort of proper decent pair of waterproof trousers. They've got poppers on the side, zips. You can go outdoors and get, these are about 50 quid. You can get, you know, an OEX brand, which is a bit cheaper. I went with these because they felt the most comfortable. They've got breathable lining inside, but as I say, I haven't worn them properly yet, so I can't really comment on how good they are, but I'm sure they're pretty decent. And yeah, I've done a video on this. Now, a lot of people commented on that video. Well, some people, not a lot. Obviously, I've only got 450 subscribers or something like that. But got a few comments about when I did a review of this jacket. I've not actually worn it properly, and that's fair. That's a fair comment. But I have now. I've worn it on the coast to coast, and obviously worn it on the West Highland Way. I've had it in, worn it in rain. But the beauty of them are they've got these zips under the pits, so you can basically unzip them. So a lot of problems with waterproof jackets is they're not breathable. They're not. You perspire inside, and I have to say you do a little bit with this, but I don't think there's any way to. I mean, there must be some decent sort of expensive waterproof jackets that are completely breathable inside, but this isn't 100%. I'd say it's pretty good. I mean, with this venting system they've got under the armpits, you know, it's nice because you can definitely feel the airflow coming through underneath, and you're not as sweaty as some of the cheaper sort of jackets. I'd say this is sort of a mid-range waterproof jacket by Rab. It's definitely one to go for. I'd recommend it. I used it on the coast to coast. I've got really wet in it. It's been fine, not leaked at all. So that's the jacket you saw me wearing on the West Highland Way. Also keeps the wind off. I wore it when it wasn't raining, obviously. So yeah, it's just an extra layer. So I'd have my fleece on under that, have a base layer, a t-shirt, and then I could use. I've got a layering system going on, so I'd be able to take that jacket off if I was a little bit hot. Then I've still got a thermal base layer underneath, and fleece and t-shirt and all that. So yeah, trousers that you saw me wearing are the Montane Terra pants. So these again are premium walking trousers made by Montane. Surprising enough, as I said, they're called by Montane. So these have got a sort of breathable system in the side. So you've got a zip there. So you can zip that up, unzip it, and it's got breathable mesh. So you've got a nice, you got a venting system there, keeping your legs nice and cool. I think I've seen a lot of the top sort of YouTubers wear them. I think Abby Barnes is an advocate for these, and I've seen all her West Highland Way and Coast to Coast videos. She wears these, and I think you can actually she tightens them up. I think she converts them into sort of shorts by just rolling them up, which I suppose you can probably do with a lot of walking trousers. The only thing I would say about these is they're expensive. They're 80 quid. So I had a pair of Decathlon walking trousers, and to be quite honest with you, I don't really feel much difference in, you know, I don't think a 25-30 quid pair of Decathlon walking trousers will do you fine. You don't need to spend 80 quid on these. That's what I've found really, because I've worn the cheaper ones and I've worn these, and you know, there's a massive price jump, and I'm not seeing a lot of difference really. They are good. You know, I will obviously keep wearing these, and who knows, I might get another pair once these wear out. I'm sure they're going to be lasting a lot longer, you would assume, than the cheaper Decathlon ones. But you know, Decathlon are a really good brand for entry level. If you know, it's a cheaper gear. I use a lot of Decathlon stuff, or I was using quite a bit of some of their stuff anyway. But so these are the Montane Terra pants. You can get them at Go Outdoors, and Go Outdoors will do a price match if you can, which is what I think I did. I can't remember if I did or not, but you can go onto Google Shopping or find them somewhere cheaper online. Go Outdoors will match that price and give you a further, is it a 5% discount or something like that? You need to have the discount card obviously as well, which is £5. But yeah, great, you know, nice comfortable walking trousers. to wear on your West Highland Way walk. And this is just a Mountain Warehouse merino wool top. Merino wool is excellent for keeping you warm, but it regulates your body temperature, so it will keep you warm in the winter but also keep you cool at night as well. So that's why I've got two of these tops. I've worn one during the day for hiking, and I'd have a second one for wearing at night to keep me warm at night. Yeah, merino wool is fantastic. You know, it doesn't just keep you warm, but it wicks sweat away as well. It wicks moisture away. I've got some merino wool decathlon socks. So I've got my merino wool decathlon socks, and this is a Mountain Warehouse product, so it's the only Mountain Warehouse product that I have. But really, really important. Even in the summer, you know, it can get quite cold at night and stuff, especially in Scotland, like on the West Highland Way. But you can't go wrong by taking a merino wool top. If you do get too warm, you can just take it off, wear a t-shirt, but that is going to go a long way to keeping you nice and toasty, nice and warm. And I think it's about 30 quid from Mountain Warehouse. Just talking a little bit about food. So I always keep my food in dry bags. When I did the West Highland Way for the first time, I took about a ridiculous amount of dehydrated meals, and then I did the West Highland Way. I realised there's loads of pubs and places to get food, so I took 2 of these adventure foods. These are the best tasting ones that I found. I've tried maybe one fire pot, and I didn't like it too much. The adventure foods, the vegetable hot pot is really nice. The mince hot pot, I've had this one as well, it's really good, but I'm not a fan of dehydrated meals. You know, you obviously just fill it up to the line, give it a spin, give it a stir, wait 10 minutes, and then it sort of self-cooks itself, and it's good. These ones taste the best, I think, out of the ones I've tried, but it's obviously everyone's opinion. It's your own opinion. But I took 2 of these, so I only used one of them. Got a coffee bag. Now there's some, I just want to shout out to the, I went up and tried to do a wild camp at Angle Tarn in December, which I didn't do, but I walked past, when you go up from Patterdale up the path, there's a B&B just before you start the climb on the left, I think, just before you start the climb up to Angle Tarn, and I knocked on the door. I said, look, I don't have a tea bag, I've left my coffee in my bag. Do you have a spare coffee thing? And this lady gave me one of these. So it was a really nice thing for her to do. I don't know what the name of that guest house is, but I'm sure you can look it up and you can use it on your coast to coast walk. But they're really nice people, they gave me that, and I've still not used it. And then in the bottom I've just got a mixture of sort of, see in there? Just sort of instant coffees and teas and things like that. So I didn't take a lot of food really. Again, you can stock up on the West Highland Way at Milngavie. You've got Tesco, you've got M&S, everything you need to. So I didn't take any water up there. I've got 2 smart water bottles at the off license just next to Costa at the start of the West Highland Way, and I use those and put them in the recycle bin now. Other things, so I've got this sort of Trekmates very lightweight pillow, which I actually got from Catesby Cam, the Lake District, their little shop there in Glenridding. This is the West Highland Way map that I use. Really good, it's like a footprint map. You can get it on Amazon. You'll find it on Amazon, they've probably updated it now, but it's a really good map. Breaks down the miles, breaks down the stages day by day. Harvey's maps do a good one as well. These are just from M&S, just just something to wipe the tent down in the morning, just to soak up as much moisture as I could. Really good. They dry really quickly as well. There's a name for them, which I can't remember. And here you go, the Decathlon little sit mat. Take a sit mat, absolutely vital bit of kit. Really nice and really useful when you want to sit on a rock or something, or sit down, have a break, which you're probably going to be doing if you're walking 100 miles. You're going to want to be sitting down, having breaks and things. So So that's it. That's most of the pretty much all the kit that I took in terms of the main bits. There might be some little bags of first aid and stuff like that. Some underwear, socks. So hiking socks. I use Bridgedale hiking socks. I've also got a pair of sealskin waterproof socks, which I've never used. Spent out 40 quid on them. And I also use Ultra for my footwear. Ultra Lone Peak. All weather mids I used on these. Been using Ultra for the last 2 years. It's based on minimalist footwear, so it's they're zero drop, so they're completely different to any sort of hiking boot that you might have worn before. They're trail runners. They've got a high toe box, so I've never had any problems with blisters since converting to Ultra. I know another similar brand made by Vivo Barefeet, which are another excellent sort of minimalist footwear brand, which you might want to check out as well. If you want to get into minimalist footwear, then you obviously need to go and try these things on in a shop before buying them, because they are different to the standard trainer. Say the Ultras are zero drop, so they're completely flat to the ground basically, so your feet are more, you just got to go and try them out basically. But that's what I would wear. Done videos on these Ultras, so if I haven't put a card up to those on this video, you'll find a link, you'll find a video on my channel reviewing the Ultra Lone Peak all-weather mids. Pretty much all the gear, all the kit that I took, guys, on the West Highland Way. If you're watching this video and haven't checked the actual full video of my walk out, then I'll put a card up somewhere, or it'll be in the description below. So I've done the West Highland Way a couple of times now and had a fantastic time. Met some awesome people, and I really hope this helps you plan your walk. If you've got any questions about the West Highland Way, you know, just drop a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. If you like the video, hit the like button. Please subscribe, because I've got some really good videos I think I've made on wild camps and trips and things like that, which you might want to check out, and I'll be making regular content going forward. So please, to be notified of new content, just if you hit the subscribe button, that will help you, or that will alert you to my next video. So that's it, guys. Hope you've enjoyed. I hope you enjoy your West Highland Way. It's the best trail I've done. I prefer it to the coast to coast. I've done the Wainwright's coast to coast. I prefer the West Highland Way because it's more of it's like a real hiking trail, the West Highland Way. You know, you're gonna have a great time, and hope to see you soon in another video. Take care, bye.